kind of an academic doesn't know how to contact the U.S. Senate to give it information about a Supreme Court nominee? Well, the kind that teaches at Palo Alto University in California, and that's my subject on today's Fiamengo file. I'm Janice Fiamengo of the University of Ottawa. Like many people, I was astounded when I first saw Christine Blasey Ford testifying against Judge Brett Kavanaugh. So this was the Democrat ace in the hole, a flimsy, uncorroborated 36-year-old tale by a woman whose most common answer to questions was, "I don't remember." A story about a girl who sometime in the 1980s went to a party but can't say where the party was or how she got there or how she got home. A story denied under oath by the other people named, notably by the lifelong friend who supposedly accompanied Blasey Ford and presumably might have noticed and remembered when her friend disappeared upstairs for a lot longer than it takes to use the bathroom and then went off into the night, never to return. Hillary Clinton has claimed recently in an interview that she found it very convincing that Ford said, "I don't remember that, but I do remember this." Only in a feminist universe could a story be said to be believable because much of it is a tearful blank. And by the way, if Christine Blasey Ford had merely looked at the Facebook page of her own Palo Alto University, she would have found a link enabling her to contact her senator, which was what she claimed she didn't know how to do. Now, even putting aside the inconsistencies and holes in Ford's story, I was shocked by the woman herself, by her whole demeanor. This is a professional career woman with that little girl croaky voice and poor me face and the trembly "I'm gonna cry at any moment" narration, supposedly because of the trauma of reading out a prepared script about something discussed in therapy and rehearsed dozens, if not hundreds of times with the legal team and other advisors, a trauma that required putting 2 doors on a big costly house. Yes, this is the elite professional woman that feminism has created after 50 years of nonstop grievance mongering. She's hard as nails underneath, more than willing to destroy a man's life and family with a story she must know can't be verified, and playing to the hilt the fragile survivor, the victim of a trauma that cuts in and out conveniently, excusing memory lapses and delaying the Senate hearings, but never interfering with a successful and privileged life. Hillary Clinton echoed the most common defense of Blasey Ford's credibility when she said, quote, "You have to ask yourself, why would anybody put themselves through this if they didn't believe that they had important information to convey to the Senate?" End quote. Well, who does Clinton think she's kidding? In Blasey Ford's world, there could be nothing more heroic than what she's doing, and she will be applauded and rewarded for it for the rest of her life. Blasey Ford's academic milieu is that of Palo Alto University, an elite private institution in a Democrat stronghold, Santa Clara County, that went 73% for Hillary in the last election. The cost for an undergraduate Bachelor of Science degree at Palo Alto U, which specializes in psychology, is nearly $23,000 per year. Every study done of the political leanings of university faculty shows that the faculty lean heavily left-wing and are becoming more so every year. But Palo Alto U wears its leftist social justice activism on its sleeve to an extraordinary degree. Its official Twitter and Facebook pages have both recently promoted an article recommending that psychology students get involved in good causes, such as the Women's March, and explicitly encouraging professors to mobilize their students in activism. On the Palo Alto U official website, the university's statement of core values places social justice first, before, quote, high-quality scientific research. That ranks only third. That says it all, in my opinion. Scientific research matters significantly less than affirmative action hiring and admission protocols. One of the university's 2 main undergraduate programs is called a Bachelor of Science in Psychology and Social Action, which states that the degree, quote, prepares students as agents of change in society, end quote. It's all SJW all the time at Palo Alto U. The demographics of the school show the extraordinary dominance of women numerically and otherwise. The professoriate is 66.7% female and only 33.3% male, and the gender breakdown among students is even more female-centered, with a whopping 79% of the student body being female, only 21% male. So that's 4 out of 5 students who are women at a school still stressing female empowerment and programs to support women. The university has a Women's Health Alliance, which is a student association to promote clinical awareness of women's mental health issues. It has no health alliance for men. The majority of the research groups that are ongoing at the university focus on empowering girls and women to resist violence, to train in self-defense, to bridge from high school to college, to counter depression. While some of the research groups listed do not exclude male patients from consideration, none that I could find focus specifically on the psychological health of men and boys. The president of the university, a woman, has addressed the Leadership Institute for Women in Psychology, which is an institute whose goal is to, quote, prepare, support, and empower women psychologists as leaders, end quote. There's no mention anywhere on the website or any of its associated web links about preparing, supporting, and empowering male psychologists as leaders. Now, there's nothing surprising about any of this. Of course, it's completely typical. But the consistent unpersoning of male human beings is notable, reflecting and reinforcing a worldview in which men's lives matter less than women or matter not at all. And this is the blinkered one-party milieu of Palo Alto University, and Blasey Ford's testimony, short on verifiable fact and long on feminist victim rhetoric in the service of a partisan agenda, might be the perfect expression of the Palo Alto worldview. In her safe environment, Christine Blasey Ford will almost never have to encounter a view contrary to the female victim glorifying culture that has been fostered over decades by feminist activists. According to the feminist paradigm, Ford has reached the pinnacle of achievement, smearing a powerful conservative man with nothing more than her trembling voice and, of course, her knowledge of trauma theory, which is also a main focus of Palo Alto University. And can we stop pretending that this is some kind of horrible ordeal for Ford? She has already received a proclamation from the Palo Alto City Council and its female mayor for her alleged courage in testifying against Kavanaugh and for inspiring other self-proclaimed victims of sexual assault to come forward. Members of her neighborhood have rallied around her, lining the street in front of her house to, quote, protect her, supposedly from the now obligatory death threats it is claimed she is receiving. One resident of Ford's Tony neighborhood emphasized that Ford is a symbol for female sexual assault survivors everywhere. She said, quote, I'm here today for all my friends who are too re-traumatized to come, who say, I can't go through this again. They can barely get out of bed because it puts them right back where they were 25 or 30 years ago, end quote. According to a real estate website I consulted, the median price of a home in Palo Alto is $3,750,000. So I can imagine that if I lived in such a home, I might not want to get out of bed either. It must be nice to just lie there and enjoy the view. As of 6 days ago, GoFundMe campaigns to raise money for Ford's security costs had already reportedly topped $700,000. So Christine Blasey Ford has made history as a woman who single-handedly stood up against the Trumpian takeover of the Supreme Court. One can only imagine the lifelong personal satisfaction and elite adulation this will bring. So let's not wonder anymore why she would put herself through it. And remember, there are many more like her now and in the making at universities all across the country. It's doubtful if presumption of innocence and the rule of law can survive them.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please support us on Patreon. If even half of our subscribers gave us $1 per month, we'd be well on our way to creating more and better content. And don't forget to subscribe to us on Studio Brule.